Welcome back to Cooking and Jammin'. Judy, I'm glad to see you here. So I guess you want some dinner, right? You got to, because you're hungry. I know you got to be hungry. So tonight, it's Sunday, so that means Sunday dinner, okay? And you know I'm gonna feed you very well on a Sunday. This Sunday's dinner is inspired by the staple singers, especially the soundtrack for the movie Let's Do It Again from 1975, featuring Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby. Don't look like that. I don't care what the man has done. Has nothing to do with my Meatloaf game. Putting no Spanish fly in my stuff, okay? Also, as you recognize this young man, this is Jimmy Walker from Good Times. The soundtrack and the theme song went top 10 R&B and top 10 pop. It was a big hit, so I'm gonna play that for you, plus a couple other songs from the soundtrack. Now, tonight's dinner, like I said, it's meatloaf, Southern style green beans, and mashed potatoes, okay? I don't do instant, I'm gonna peel, but I'm not gonna make a video for all that. My meatloaf is pretty much a copycat recipe. Now, I do meatloaf 5 to 6 to 8 different ways, but this recipe I really like. It's simple and easy, and it consists of 2 pounds of ground beef, half an onion chopped up, about 1/4 cup of green pepper. I'm gonna add carrots to this, not much, just a little bit. 1 sleeve of Ritz crackers, those are the round buttery ones, okay? They don't have to be Ritz, but it can just be those round buttery crackers. We're gonna crush those up real good. 3 eggs, and about a 1/4 cup of milk to bind everything together, okay? But, I already told you before in other videos, I really don't like to use milk in anything, not whole milk or anything, because sometimes if you're cooking for other people, and two, when you get a certain age, your stomach can't be dealing with all them bacteria from milk and fats and everything. It's not a pretty picture when you get to a certain age. So I try to use evaporated milk or, whatever I can, but I still like to use some form of dairy milk. I like to put about half a bag. This is an 8-ounce bag, so I guess it's about 4 ounces of cheese, cheddar cheese. And I'm going to make a sauce for the top. I usually like gravy, but tonight I'm going to make a sauce consisting of a half a cup of ketchup, about a teaspoon of mustard, and a half a cup of brown sugar. Now I gotta find my brown sugar. Hopefully I have some left after that banana upside down cake I made on the previous video that some of you have made and had a taste of, and it hits you with the food spirit. When you put, if you know what the food spirit is, that's when you put something in your mouth and it's so good it just make you your eyes roll back and make you go, oh, like you done caught the Holy Ghost. It makes you want to bounce. It just makes you can't even speak. It's so good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna saute. That's the first thing I do. I like to saute my vegetables because I don't want no hard, crunchy onions and carrots and bell peppers in my meatloaf. That is the one thing that sets me off, is I get a meatloaf with crunchy onions and bell peppers in it. It's just gross. So that's where we're gonna go, Judy. You get yourself a cocktail or something to drink. Go and play me a couple of songs off of this soundtrack, because I'm definitely getting inspired, and we'll be right back. All right, chill out. So, Judy, I'm cutting up right now, or dicing up, my onions, green peppers, and my carrots. Now, I try to do everything all at once on one board, okay? I mean, I'm not using a whole lot of everything, but I'm trying to cut time. And I know some chefs and culinary experts out there will be like, you know, grabbing at the pearls, clutching the pearls. What is he doing? You know, but it's all going in the same damn dish. It's going in the same pan. And another thing, this is my goddamn kitchen. So you do what you want in yours, Chef Bougie. And Master Chef ass, you know, and I'm gonna do what I do in mine. I'm not trying to insult anybody, honestly, but oh my God, you watch some of these shows, you know how some of these chefs are, and, you know, and it's all good, and they make you laugh, and they give you great tips, because, you know, I've learned from some really great, watching some really great chefs, you know. And some of them I just watch because they're cute. Because like that Mean Sai, whew, that man makes me want an Asian husband. You know, he is cute. Even at his age now, he's still cute. Anyway, not about my fantasies. It's about this Meatloaf. See, that's just how old Bill, Mr. Jello Pudding Pop, got in trouble. Them fantasies. Anyway, so I'm chopping everything up, getting it in little dices, and then next step we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to this stove and get my pan out, and we're gonna saute these veggies to put in our meatloaf. I've already got my meat in the bowl and broke it down really good as much as I can. And like I said, we're gonna saute this, and while my veggies are sauteing, Judy, we're going to crush our crackers to put in our mixture also, okay? So I'm gonna keep doing this because I like for my veggies to be very small, I like big chunks, and I'll meet you at the stove, all right, girl? So Judy, you see I have my vegetables that I'm sauteing. You see the carrots, bell pepper, and onions. So I have them in this pan that keeps spinning around like a Ferris wheel. I have them in here with about 2 tablespoons of margarine, or you can use butter, or you can use oil. It's up to you, whatever you like to saute. We're gonna get these sauteed for the next, do it for about 5 minutes. And then I'm gonna show you, the next step will be to crush my crackers that I'm using for my binding, as you know, I'm using for my binding agent. Those are some pretty colors, don't you agree? Alright, so I got about 5 minutes on this. I'm gonna play your song and I'll be right back. So, Judy, as you see, we're about 3 minutes into our vegetables being sauteed and being done, but what I want to do is, I want to show you another part of this Sunday dinner. Look at them green beans. Yes, those are my Southern style green beans. Now that meat you see in there, that is pork. So, and I'm not Muslim, so it don't bother me to put a little pork in my green beans and my greens and my black-eyed peas. But I'll be right back because we're going to crush some crackers and get this all together in the bowl with the meatloaf mixture, all right? So our vegetables are sauteed, and I've added them to the bowl with the meat so they can cool off. Now what we're gonna do is, see, this is get my finger out of the way now. This is one sleeve or 2 half sleeves of Ritz, well, the round buttery crackers. I need to stop saying the name because they're not paying me either. So this is I'm not gonna say their name because I'll just show it to you, but that's a NutriBullet, okay? I love this thing, okay? You can substitute your blender for it, make your smoothies in it. So, Judy, this is gonna get a little loud, okay? We're just gonna pulsate it one time. All right, see? Now I got my binder for my meatloaf. Just that simple. All right? So we're gonna go back to the table and we're gonna get our meatloaf together so we can get it in the oven. So, okay. So we have everything together here, okay? Now, that is my ground beef and ground chuck, or my ground chuck, in the bowl. And as you see, the sauteed onions and bell pepper and carrots are in there, okay? I sauteed them for about a good between 5 and 7 minutes, okay? And sorry about that noise. My mama is texting me. You know, it's Sunday. She do her thing in the kitchen too. That's where I get it from. You know, I say a lot of homes, you know, be it black, white, Asian, whatever, Italians, especially Italians, we really honor Sunday dinners with your family and your close friends who you call family, you know. So, and that's how I always done it. Anyway, so I have my vegetables in there, okay. I'm gonna do a little seasoning. Now this is that garlic pepper I've told you about it, that I bought here in Houston. I'm gonna do about 2 pinches of it. And one, oh, I had put this on that T-bone steak that I made in the other video. Oh, it turned out so good. All right. Now I'm just gonna shake a little seasoned salt in it, because I really don't want too much salt because the crackers have salt on them, okay? So you don't want a salty meatloaf. Just a little shake, a little pass, 1 or 2 passes, not much, okay? We are going to add, you know what? Let me do this real quick. Let's go ahead and add a cheese in. Now remember, I said it's going to be 4 ounces. This is an 8-ounce bag, so you don't have to use half. All right, see, that's about half, okay? And we're gonna add our crushed crackers. See, I made that dust, some crumbs with it. Yes, and I'm gonna add these are the 3 eggs. I've already beaten them down, so give them a good beat down. And we're gonna add that. And last but not least, Judy, a 1/2 cup of milk. Now, like I told you, this is evaporated milk, okay? Now, what I'm about to do, we're gonna turn this camera off because Lord knows y'all don't need to see me get elbows deep in this meatloaf. But, okay, a good meatloaf, like any cook is gonna tell you, you got to do it by hand. That's how your mama did it. That's how your grandma did it. And if your mama and grandma do it that way, then I guess they got their cooks to do it, or they got some magic meatloaf mixing machine. You don't want to do it with a spoon or anything like that because it's going to make the meatloaf tough. So I'm going to do it by hand, but I'm not going to sit here and let you watch me do it. And also, if you're going to use gloves Oh, sweetie, let me remind you. Use gloves that you're gonna basically reuse. You know, you can wash them off if you use those kind of gloves, but use non-powdered gloves. Don't use the gloves with the powder on them like, you know, you see at the hospitals and everything, okay? They got great gloves out there, plastic and rubber gloves that you could buy at the store with the big blue box. You know who I'm talking about? Wally World. Okay, so they got gloves there, and restaurant stores. If you don't want to get your hands dirty, you know, you can go to one of those places and they're gonna help you out. All right, I'm gonna mix this meatloaf and then we're gonna get it in the pan and get it in the oven. So there you go. Let's zoom on in there, Judy. There she is. She's all, oops, sorry. I am filming myself, so you know how it go. It ain't perfect, but you know, hey, I do the best that I can. Look at that, Judy. That meatloaf, you know what? And them little brown butter crackers smell so good. So we're gonna get this in a 350 oven. I already have it preheated. We're gonna put it in there for about an hour, and in that meantime, I'm gonna get my potatoes peeled and get them boiled for the mashed potatoes. So, you know, look at that. And I got it sitting on some aluminum foil. I wouldn't even say this is aluminum because I got the foil at the dollar store. Do not ever buy aluminum foil from a dollar store, okay? It ain't worth the whatever they use to make it. Must be remnants of old cans or something. All right, so we're gonna put that in the oven. You hope you putting yours in the oven, and we're gonna see what they look like when we come back. All right. Ooh, Judy, it is hot, y'all. I know I shouldn't do this to my album covers, but I have 2 copies of this and a copy on CD. You know, I love Meatloaf. Every time I have it, I always think about Good Times. You know, you remember if you watch Good Times, it was an episode where they had a neighbor, and the neighbor was an older lady, and you know, she was having some problems, you know, making ends meet. So they thought, because they kept seeing these cans of dog food in her garbage, they thought she was eating dog food. So, you know, something had happened on the show, and they invited her to dinner, or they decided to invite her to dinner, so she came, right? And she brought meatloaf. And the whole entire family, plus their neighbor, Walona, who was there. I think she's the one who originally told them, if I remember, about the dog food cans in her garbage, right? Or one of the kids. So they all sat down, and you know, she was trying to convince them about eating the meatloaf, and then the old lady kind of figured out something wasn't right. So, you know, when she put them straight, you know, like, she ain't gonna feed no dog food to her friends, you know, and her family, and she was upset with them. And then come to find out, she had a dog that she was trying to keep quiet from Bookman, the guy, you know, they call Buffalo Butt, the janitor, whatever he was. So every time I think about Meatloaf, I always think about that episode. Anyway, so I have half a cup of brown sugar. Now this is the topping that's going to go on the meatloaf when it's done. So this is a half a cup of brown sugar. You know, I like to use the light brown sugar. So we're going to do a half a cup also of ketchup, and I'm just using my I'm just going to use one of my everyday ketchups, because it don't make no sense to have my fancy ketchup, you know, the one with the big name on it. I'm gonna use a teaspoon of mustard. I didn't feel like pulling out my measuring spoons, but you get it. This is a teaspoon, okay? That's the kind of spoon you're gonna use to mix your tea. You know, you ain't gonna use your big cereal spoon, but that's a teaspoon. And we're gonna mix in the ketchup with it. Now remember, there is a tip. Remember I told you before, if you have to measure out things like honey or anything, corn syrup, anything like that that's really thick, and you have to measure it in, and pour it out of cups, spray your cups with a little cooking spray, and then the honey and ketchup or whatever, it's gonna come out real easy like water. Okay, now I'm gonna use a fork to mix this, since to get all fancy with it. It's my house and we good Judy's. Why should I act all fancy for you, right? Also, I want to give a shout out real quick to Jessica Lopez here in Houston. I've shouted her out before, but me and Jessica used to cook together back in the day when we were pretty much laying on the floor of her uncle's apartment, and her uncle's boyfriend was actually one of my childhood best friends. So Jessica, do me a favor, sweetie. Holla at your uncle and Jose and show them this video, or send them this link to let them hoes know I'm still living, because I know Papa will get a big kick out of this, especially considering all the stuff he's gone through this past year. I also want to give a shout out to Janice from my church, and Ryan, and anybody else from the Unitarian Fellowship of Houston. All right, so this is good and mixed, and so once our meatloaf is done in an hour, we're going to spread this on top and kind of glaze and get the glaze a little thick on there. By what I usually do is I like to put it on broil, and so it can get good and thick. I'm going to peel some potatoes and get them on. Y'all talk amongst yourself or play some more music, because them staple singers, Mavis Staples, if you don't know about Mavis, oh baby, you don't know music. I'm telling you, there's some voices out there like Fantasia, she reminds me of Mavis. Baby, there was a documentary, I think it won an Emmy, it was on HBO, about Mavis Staples. The rock and roll community, the blues community, they love her. Baby, she is just the sweetest grandma type in the world, but sister can get down on the mic, all right? All right, so we're gonna watch our meatloaf, play some music. I need a drink because it's hot up in here, Judy. Like I said, y'all talk amongst yourself, y'all. I'll be right with you, all right? And I'm back. So I just taken the meatloaf out of the oven, and she's nice and brown, and I had to do a magic trick and drain that grease off without flipping my whole meatloaf out of the pan. Now I've done that in the past, and I'm sure some of you have too. What we're gonna do is take our sauce here, which is nice and thick, and we are going to pour that over that meatloaf just like that. Take our basting brush. Don't that look good? I'll go ahead and pour the rest of it on there. And we're going to get that caramelized. Oh, that sauce is good. That's almost a makeshift barbecue sauce. And like I said, I've done meatloaf 100 million ways. Traditional, this, cheeseburger meatloaf, barbecue meatloaf. I even did a Spanish Mexican kind of meatloaf, had chorizo and all that good stuff in it, Mexican oregano, and I think I can remember, did we top it with enchilada sauce? Right, anyway go. So we're gonna get this in the oven, let it caramelize under the broiler, and I have my broiler on high, and we'll be back in about 2-3 minutes. All right, I hope your meatloaf is good as mine. I swear, sometimes it makes me want to sing, don't you wish your girlfriend could cook like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend had recipes like me? Don't you? Okay, like I said, I didn't try out for American Idol. But anyway, I'll be back, Judy. Ooh, you know it. When you're cooking and you're doing your thing, you know, it get hot. But you know what they say, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. But I can stand the heat. It's just, sometimes it get a little too hot for you, you know. So the meatloaf is done. I had caramelized the sauce I made for the top. Let me tip it so you can see it. She's hot, Judy. She is hot. She got steam coming off that ass. Like you think she been running to a beauty supply with a hair bundle sale. That's how hot she is. All right, so my green beans are made. I'm boiling potatoes now. And since it's so hot, I'm drinking that moonshine sweet tea. Tell you, this is the closest thing to homemade you're gonna get. All those ones talking about homebrewed, no. This is the real deal. This is the tea. And I mean, this is the truth. This is the tea here, okay? It tastes homemade. It's a great company. They got a great profile. They even give the children charities, okay? If you can find it, find it. If you can order it, order it. I mean, you'll like this tea. I mean, they're not giving me any money to mention them, but I really like this tea and they're great people. So, but like I said, it's done. I'm gonna let it cool off. Now, Judy, if you want to come over during the middle of the week, get you a couple of slices and make yourself a meatloaf sandwich for your lunch, or take some home for, you know, there's plenty here, because Daddy can't do all of it, and I don't want to chunk it out of the window. I really need to find a family in Houston to sponsor. Also, upcoming videos. There should be, I'm going to teach you how to teach you how to do egg rolls in the air fryer. I'm going to make a shrimp Creole coming up. So I want you to share the videos. I share my Facebook page. Share the Twitter, Instagram, like everything. I'm really trying, you know. Like I said, I've seen people make videos look like they're making them with their old Apple phones, all shaky, bad lighting, bad sound, and come straight out of the gate in one day with 16,000 views. You know what? I gotta be blessed. I'm just gonna say I'm blessed. I'm happy for who is supporting me and who's watching the videos, and that's all that is to it, okay? Because I know my time will come and people will come and they will enjoy what I'm doing. But remember, when I get to my milestones and my goals, I'm gonna get prizes. So the first one will be dinner and movie on me. I'm gonna give you some movie passes and some passes to maybe one of your favorite restaurants in your area. And it's gonna be valued at $100. So help me get to where I really want to be and where you can be proud of me and I can be proud of me, all right? So, thank you, Judy. But since you're not going to stick around to wash no dishes, you got to go. Hit the street, kick rocks, walk on them bricks. But until next time, holla at a player when you see him on the street, girl. I love you. See you later.